America's very first armory is still standing today. We're traveling the countryside this weekend with Andrew McCrae off to the nation's first armory for a glimpse of the world's largest collection of U.S. military small arms.
Springfield, Massachusetts has long been an important place in this country for supplying the weapons needed by the nation's military. As Susan Ashman shares, when the American colonies declared their independence, the role of Springfield Armory began to change.
And then when we were at war with England, we were importing French Charlevilles at that time. So that's what they were using. But, you know, if we were fighting for our independence, why are we still dependent on these foreign firearms? So George Washington wanted his own site to manufacture firearms.
The city of Springfield was a good place to manufacture firearms for the new nation. It is located on the Connecticut River, which provided water power to help with manufacturing. By the 1790s, this site was ready to begin making guns for the U.S. military.
So the first year of manufacturing was 1795, and they basically copied that French Charleville, calling it the Springfield Charleville, and they made approximately 245 of those all by hand.
A walk around this National Historic Site will show you some technology developed to help the country get the upper hand when it came to military might.
This is the Blanchard lathe designed by Thomas Blanchard, and this is from 1822, and this is how you would carve out rifle stocks in an irregular shape.
You'll find many pieces of equipment developed here over the years to help the nation craft its firearms. In 1843, poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow came by the armory while on his honeymoon. The massive racks of muskets were a sight that inspired him to include them in his writings.
His wife, Fanny, thought it looked like a church organ, so she called it the organ of muskets. And then Henry Wadsworth Longfellow actually wrote a poem about it. And all it is that's the last two racks, how they used to store the firearms at that time in here. So you would see these on all three floors.
And when you consider the number and size of buildings here, the Springfield Armory was an amazing arsenal for the U.S. military. The Armory produced weapons from the late 1700s until the Vietnam War. Production and the makeup of the workforce here changed as the nation entered new conflicts abroad. During World War II, production of the M1 rifle became critically important. And with so many men overseas in battle, a new workforce composed of 42% women was here.
And the focus was the M1. So the parts for it, so the women were working on trigger assemblies, barrels. You even had a woman working down at the forge. So they were doing any job that the men would do, the women stepped in to do as well.
Although these buildings no longer house people nor the weapons of war, it is a place where people come to hear the story, from muskets to machine guns, and defending freedoms both here and abroad. Traveling the countryside in Springfield, Massachusetts, I'm Andrew McCrae.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, up next, one last ride and a final goodbye for a man who lived and breathed John Deere green. The tractor tribute is next.